For STX Soul, it is.
STX Soul Trap.
Funny thing about Trap is if he's able to win against Curious in the best of 3, he will face another Zerg player in the 3rd round of Code A, either True or Effort. So he would have faced 3 Zergs in a row.
That's ideal for him, obviously, you know, just keeping the same matchup going.
Exactly. The second Zerg opponent that he has to face in Code A starts to the bottom right of Atlas. The Startail player calls himself
Startail Curious.
You know, Trap obviously going to be playing and preparing for other matchups on the side for Pro League, for example. But if he is so focused on versus Zerg, they might want to send him out in Pro League against a Zerg player as well. So, you know, he can become this very strong Protoss versus Zerg player during this period of time while he's focused only on that matchup.
Yeah. On the other hand, what we have with Curious is a player who has a lot of experience also in Code A. Back in the days when we had a Code A champion, he was the only player that was ever able to win a Code A season without dropping a single map.
That's actually very true. I remember that season. He beat Oz in the finals with a 4-0. And here comes the Nexus going down, so he's just going to be doing you know, your usual Nexus first forge in the main build.
We have the gas already coming up now here for Curious. So Curious is actually playing a really aggressive build. Not aggressive, but he's playing a very risky build. He's taking a calculated risk here. Yeah. And this is the style that it's very similar to what we've seen in our first Protoss versus Zerg. He doesn't go for a 6 pool, but he goes for the other extreme. Because it's such a huge map, he goes for the hatch first, then gas, additional drones, and then he heads into the pool. So it's exactly the opposite extreme of what we seen Hiva do against first in our first series today.
Yeah, it's greedy because if Trap had gone for a forge first and happened to scout the right direction, he would have been able to cannon and kill that hatchery, no problem. He didn't even, you know, keep an Overlord down next to his hatchery the whole time. It was kind of too far at the front to really see anything, but let's see what Curious has planned here. He's going to have a very fast Zergling speed, so that's going to give him a lot of flexibility with his opening. You know, we could see some sort of crazy lair play, but yeah, there's the speed. Yeah, that's what they expect to see.
And it pays off for him, you know? The problem with Hiva was that his gamble didn't really pay off, but on the other hand, with Curious, it works very well. He is scouted very late by Trap. Trap just now sending his probe to the bottom right of the map. So Curious already in a position where he doesn't have to be afraid of anything. He has his pool out, he's going to speed, double queen is on its way. So this is a cool opening for Curious. This is a pretty good start.
Yeah, probe's going to come in here very late. But because of the late pool, he will be able to see that there was a late pool with an early gas because the queens aren't ready yet. So he gets to see that for just a second here, then he's going to actually get thrown out.
As a Zerg player, you're always happy when you can start with the hatch first. It lines up just so well. Your hatch and your pool roughly finish at the same time, then you can go into the double queen. So that's like the best timings ever that you can have in the game. And the question is, of course, what Curious is going to do from here on out.
Yeah, and how is Trap going to respond to seeing this? Probably going to see Stargate play. There's an Overlord just dying to see what's inside at the bottom right of Trap's base. He wants to verify with this probe if there's a third base, and he does see it very nicely done there.
There's the third base, as you just said, just being dropped down by Curious. So we have the Stargate opening. Very common against Zerg players to go for the Stargate. And it's all about how Curious defends against it. He has a good position already with his early start, with the early hatch that he had. And now, can he even sneak in with Zergling? No, not quite.
Yeah, the wall here is really nice. With the way the cannon's positioned, even if he runs by, he has to run around the Nexus to be able to get any real information, and then the cannon will have done its work at that point. Trap gets +1 now, and he's getting it pretty quickly here. So we could see some of that Zealot aggression with the Phoenixes.
Yep. And for now, the main question is, what is Curious going to do for now? We have him with additional gas. He's getting the additional queens out. Does he get the scouting information? We don't have him here with a finished lair tick or anything, so he can't just rely on an overseer to find out what's going on. And he will be up against aggression. I mean, Trap is now dropping 3 additional gateways, chrono boosting his Phoenixes, and also trying to get the +1 attack upgrade. So this is going to be a very heavy attack against the Zerg.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough one for Curious to stop, especially unscouted. He's hiding the Phoenixes. He's not showing them to the Overlord because he knows that he doesn't have to. Blings are going to get in here, though. This is insane.
Wow, that
Two
is
Speedlings
perfect.
get in. How does this happen?
That couldn't be any better for Curious. He knows exactly what's coming now. He sees everything. The Forge with the +1, the Chrono Boosted Stargate. He sees also those additional gateways. This is awesome for him.
He even sees the dead probe he just killed, and he can be really happy about that. You know, trade exactly the minerals you want with that 50 minerals for those links for a probe and see everything.
Roach Warren coming up, Lair Tech halfway done. We see additional Spore Crawlers. Queens have been started immediately. This is really good for Curious. The only thing that Curious has to do in this situation is hold. He knows that Trap is going to go for a 2-base timing, and he's currently looking at only 51 Harvesters. So the additional drones that he's now squeezing out is a very conscious decision.
He also knows that making his Roach Warren a little bit earlier is going to help quite a bit with this, especially because he expects a very Zealot-heavy aggression. Oh, mistake here by Trap. We'll get the Queen eventually, but...
Needs 2 lifts, of course, with only 3 Phoenixes at the beginning.
This is Trap's choice to go into 6 gateways after being scouted. I really, really like that because Curious has not seen those gateways, and he doesn't know how aggressive it's going to be. If he skimps a little bit on his defense, he may die here.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we have now the Hydra Den coming up. No Overseer, by the way, so no second scout in the main base. If the Hydra Den is there in time and he gets a Hydra Force out, I don't think the Trap can do anything at all. Hydras melt gateway units, but we don't. It's going to be taking quite some time until he has the range upgrade and speed. So this might actually just be a little bit too close.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. I cannot believe he lost that sentry. That's really well done by Curious, but Trap needs to make sure he keeps all his units together. He's faking a 3rd base now. Curious calls his bluff. He sees the links coming here. See no Nexus.
He's taking down the forward pylon to at least one of them. If he finds the second one, that would be really bad for Trap.
Yeah, that's why Trap's making a few extra ones here, because he knows that it's a high chance that Curious is going to find it.
I'm not sure if Curious has the units out already, and the sentries are trying to get close enough to put a force field on the ramp.
Overlords here kind of forming a little bit of a blocker, so it's hard to target.
I actually don't know if Curious doesn't have any Hydras right now. He's going in with the Roaches, he's trying to come in from behind, but this is just so much that we have for Trap.
And the force fields are such a big problem. He's got double force fields here, which not only cover the ramp, but block out those drones.
The drones are moving in from every angle possible, trying to occupy those gateway units. More and more units are being produced, but there's a bit of a lava problem for Curious.
Yeah, you know, he made a few drones, but I think he made a few too many. The first wave of drones you were talking about would have made sense, but the second wave was just too much, and doesn't have enough units. I don't think he expected to see the 6-gate follow-up here.
No, not at all. He didn't send an Overseer in to double scout, and now we have so many units heading out for Curious, but he already lost a lot of his drones. He's pushing this back, but at what cost?
Yeah, he's supply blocked, even losing so many of those Overlords. The Queens really trying to help out here, and he's with the next round of Warpins, maybe able to just end the game.
The Harvester count is down to 25. He doesn't have a lot of lava left, and there are no additional injects. He has those Roaches to the right side of the map, but if Trap pushes through, he will at least be able to take down the 3rd base.
Absolutely so, and more Overlords are getting routed in here as well. He will lose those. He's already pretty much supply blocked, and once he loses this, he's going to go into the red.
Good snipe the Phoenix, takes it down.
Gets those sentries.
That's important. He takes most of them already out. 3 are gone, the 4th being attacked.
It's just a production problem. He doesn't have the larva, he doesn't have the economy with those lost drones, and I mean, this Warpin pylon is just going to stay here.
He missed a lot of his injects because the Queens were occupied at the front trying to take down these pylons. Now he has a bit of breathing room, but with only 25 Harvesters, he doesn't really have the economy to back this up.
Yeah, he can send the Queen back and get the larva, but he's not going to be able to spend it with no drones really mining. He can't make any drones right now because he'll die, but if he doesn't make drones, then eventually Trap gets 3 more Warpin rounds and it's over.
Another Phoenix goes down, but those gateway units, they're gonna hit, and they are hitting hard. They're moving in right now as we speak towards the natural once again.
Yeah, the upgrades, the +1 on the Stalkers really shining. Perfect force fields.
GG.